Hello and good afternoon. We are here today speaking on conflict. This is from the Insights and Wisdom of Omuugn. And today I, Angela Brown, am here with Omuugn, and we are going to unpack some of the interesting ideas about conflict. So please help me welcome Omuugn. Hey, Omuugn, how are you today?
Oh, great. It's good to be here this morning. It's a beautiful winter day and it looks like a good one.
So tell us, conflict. Conflict shows up in all different forms in our lives. And you wrote about this in your book for a reason. Share with me, if you will, what your reason was for addressing the topic of conflict.
And the purpose in the book, of course, was to identify all of the characteristics and traits that we have as individuals. Conflict was really one of those. How we deal with conflict, how we view it, how we react to it. Whenever we have an opposing interest or a need or a goal that doesn't pan out the way we want it to, we enter into a world of conflict. We usually think of conflicts as between people because everyone has their own belief system and people see things differently. Everyone has different values, beliefs, opinions, resources, perceived threats. Conflict is sort of a natural and inevitable part of the flow of our life. We're going to run into conflicts all of the time. We think of conflict as fighting and quarreling, but whenever you experience a negative emotion, if you're frustrated, if you're angry, if you're disappointed, there's something in your personality and your belief system that's conflicted. That's why you feel that negative energy. Another aspect that we need to consider is assumptions. We don't have all of the information about all of the things that are happening to us in our life. So we have a tendency to make assumptions about how things are going to turn out, how our plans are going to turn out. I don't know if you remember, but as the family was developing, I came to understand that life is a progression of plan B rather than plan A. There will always be something that you didn't count on. For example, someone will ask me to do a job around the house. They'll say, "How long will that take?" My response now is, it will take much longer than either one of us assume that it will. There will always be unexpected things. I remember in a house that we lived in before, and the kitchen sink was really quite low, and the cupboards were too low because the sink was low. So one day we decided to move the cabinets up, and we took the cabinets off the wall. And the ladies in our family said, I like it better without the cabinets there. Let's just leave the cabinets there. But the sink is so low. Why don't we raise the sink? Well, before that was over, we had repaired the sink and put a new floor in, and that interacted with the way the entrance to another room was. And so we ended up changing the entrance to the other room and then working on the other room. Just making that one change on the cabinets ended up in about a 2-week project that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars and lots of man hours, and a lot of things were involved that we had no idea when we began the project. And that's the way plans are a lot of times. We have a way of looking at things the way they're going to turn out, but they don't turn out that way. How do you respond to this, all of these changes that are happening in your house when you had just planned for a little one? How we deal with things like that, how we react to change, the personal attitude. For example, if I'm a cheerful person, if my plans change, do I maintain that cheerfulness, or do I become grumpy and sullen because my plans changed? You see, my personality should be consistent, and I should realize the plans will usually always change. Everything is always in a state of change. So we need to make assumptions carefully, and we need to gather more information. Our plans are going to be better if we plan better, if we take the time to invest into how our life is going to lay out, than if we just are flying by the seat of our pants all of the time, because that can be very frustrating. If two people are living in the same space, the characteristics and traits of people are really different. For example, say one person likes a really casual lifestyle where you just throw things down anywhere, and the other person, they're not happy unless everything is put away and everything looks organized. If you don't know how to communicate, you can have lots of conflicts. There are things like your attitude, how quickly you become angry over things, and how you respond to challenges and changes, whether you're a cheerful disposition or not. and your communication skills. Those traits and characteristics deal with how we respond to conflict in our lives. As you identify a trait, it's important that you analyze the trait and then really apply it to your life. There is physical and mental and emotional and spiritual realities that we deal with. And we mature at all of those different things on different levels at different times. Conflict doesn't have to be negative. Conflict can be just a change.
How do you plan so that you can face challenges or those conflicts head on?
Well, the more that you communicate and plan together, the less conflict you're going to have. If you're going to do something, sit down and really analyze the situation. We're going to change the cabinet. Do I really like the height of the counter? Do I really like the flooring that's in this room? If we're going to make some changes, why don't we make some significant changes and make our room the way we prefer it to be? The more you can do that in detail, the less conflict you're going to have, because you can sit down and communicate before the project begins instead of finding out that somebody doesn't like something. So, yeah, the more planning and detail you can get before you make an assumption or implement your plan, the less conflict you're going to have.
This was a great topic. Learn to resolve the conflicts before they arise. This is good stuff. If you haven't already, please pick up your copy of The Insights and Wisdom of Omuugn. We are going through this meeting with Omuugn to discover some of the interesting insights and wisdom that will help you become a better person, a better leader, and a better manager so that you can be the very best version of yourself. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you again next time.
Pleasure. Thank you.